Anthony Edwards is one of the biggest stars in basketball. He's gotten better every year he's been in the league, and this season, he's continued to improve. This year, his play is MVP caliber, averaging 26 points and 5 assists per game, both career highs, and putting up those numbers on career best efficiency. Winning has followed Ant's individual dominance as the Wolves have gone from play-in team last year to the 3 seed in the West this year. Right now, we're witnessing the rise of a superstar. This video will break down what Ant is doing to dominate games on both ends of the floor. First, let's talk about Ant's scoring. A big part of what makes him such a great scorer is his slashing ability. It's pretty much impossible to keep Anthony Edwards out of the paint. He's one of the fastest players in the league, allowing him to drive by defenders pretty much at will. He's also great at changing speeds to fool defenders. Watch how he uses the hezi, leaves the defender in his dust, and then finishes with the two-handed jam. He's got a terrific handle, so he'll often use moves like in and outs and crossovers to misdirect defenders and get right by them. Getting by the first line of defense is child's play for Ant, but he also has no issue scoring over the second line of defense. Anthony Edwards' crazy hops makes him an above-the-rim finisher in traffic. His highlight reel dunks often has defenders thinking twice before challenging him near the rim. Ant also has a great below-the-rim game. His ups allows him to stay airborne longer than most help defenders, allowing him to get the finish. If the initial defender is a threat to block him from behind, he'll often use reverse layups. Here, Ant crosses Jared Allen and goes up and finishes on the other side, using the rim as protection. If his defender is able to stay in front on the drive, Ant will often use footwork to score. Here, Josh Hart is able to stick with Ant, but he pivots and uses the nice up and under to score this layup. This time it's Quentin Grimes who's still with Ant on the drive, but he spins to get right by him and scores. Again, Anthony Edwards drives to the basket. Pascal Siakam is right there, but Edwards uses the Euro step to get right around him and score the layup. Ant isn't just explosive, he's also big and strong, allowing him to dislodge defenders, even big men. This bump moves Şengün, so even though Ant misses the layup, he's in perfect position to score on the putback. Rudy Gobert hands it off to Anthony Edwards, who immediately looks to attack the basket. This bump pretty much moves Jalen Smith out the way, and he displays great body control, taking the hit and still finishing, drawing an and one. Ant looks to attack the paint even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. He's a terrific cutter. On this play, he notices Isaac Okoro has lost focus of him, so he cuts back door and dunks on Jared Allen. On this possession, we could see that Zaire Williams is trying to deny Anthony Edwards the ball. So Ant makes the right decision, he cuts to the basket, and then finishes with another powerful slam. A big reason for his increased scoring this year is his improved shooting. Ant is shooting 37% from deep this season, which is a career high, and he's doing this while shooting threes at high volume. He won't hesitate to pull up from deep if given too much space. He can also create threes for himself off the bounce. One of his go-to moves is to step back. The way he likes to go to it is to go between his legs to fake like he's going to drive, then step back to make space for the jump shot. He also does a lot of damage from mid. Not only does he use his handle and shiftiness to get to the rim, but also to create his own shots in the mid-range. That mid-range game gives Ant a great bailout option on his ISOs. If the defender is still with him, Ant can turn his drives into fadeaways. And like many great scorers, he's a tough shot maker, so many of his makes are with a hand right in his grill. The Wolves also love to help him generate shots through pick and roll play. If the big man doesn't step up high, Ant will just drain the pull-up three. This forces big men to come out to the perimeter, allowing Ant to blow right past them. Teams will often try to double to get the ball out of his hands, but Ant is quick enough to split double teams and get right to the basket. He's become one of the most unguardable players in the league, but he's not only creating for himself, he's setting up his teammates as well. Rudy Gobert is one of the biggest beneficiaries of Anthony Edwards' playmaking. Together, they've become a deadly pick and roll combo. Because Ant gets so much defensive attention, he often finds Gobert rolling to the basket and sets him up for lobs and dunks. If other defenders try cheating off their man to stop the Gobert roll, he's got the vision to find the open shooter. When he's attacking and getting downhill, defenses tend to collapse, and he's become really good at finding the holes in the defense and creating easy scoring opportunities for his teammates. He also tends to get double teamed a lot, and Ant consistently makes the right reads and finds the open man. His growth as a decision maker is propelling him into superstardom, because the true greats not only score the ball at high volume, but leverage their scoring to make their teammates better. But while his offensive brilliance is extremely impressive, it would be criminal to not talk about what he's doing on the defensive end, because he's become a great two-way player. Getting separation against him one-on-one isn't easy. Ant has quick feet to stay with his man, which forces offensive players to either give the ball up or take a heavily contested shot. He's got very quick hands on defense, so get sloppy with your handle and it's good as gone. Not only does Ant stay with Paul George on this drive, but he picks his pockets. This time, Anthony Edwards switches onto Brandon Ingram, swipes the ball away, and sets himself up for a dunk on the fast break. He remains an active defender when he's off the ball. Here, Halliburton wants to give it back to Siakam, but Ant deflects this pass, allowing Rudy Gobert to get the steal. He can also make defensive plays as a help defender. If he's the last line of defense, he can block and alter the shots of driving players. Oftentimes, he'll come out of nowhere to block shots. This block not only saved the Timberwolves 2 points, but won them the game. Very few players in the league carry this big of an offensive load and still play amazing defense. Overall, we're seeing the rise of a young superstar, and with the Timberwolves in position to maybe capture a top 2 seed, Ant could potentially take this team deep in the playoffs. Of course, they gotta get Karl Anthony Towns back in the lineup before the start of the postseason. So ladies and gentlemen, if you ever get a chance, please turn on a Wolves game, because with Anthony Edwards leading the way, the Minnesota Timberwolves are must-watch basketball. Now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of how Anthony Edwards has been playing this season? Can he lead the Timberwolves to a deep playoff run? Let me see your thoughts down below in the comments section. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more awesome content just like it, please drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have an amazing rest of your day.